My quiet life alone in a treehouse. Welcome back to my video. When I was a child, my biggest dream was to live in a treehouse. Not just any treehouse, but one with a cozy fireplace, rope bridges winding through the canopy, and a tiny kitchen so I could stay there forever. I would often get lost in this fantasy, imagining myself tucked away in the forest, far from the pressures of school and the noise of other people. But I didn't have a garden with trees or anyone who would be willing to build it for me. So over time, that fantasy slowly faded away and lived on quietly in my heart until I discovered this place. If you're new here, I'm Jessica and I live nomadically, traveling full time around Europe. 2 years ago, I decided to chase my dreams. I quit my job, sold most of my belongings, and started living a slow-paced life off-grid in nature. Join me for this episode of Tiny Living, where I reconnect with nature and grow roots in the wild. What I've been up to and winter plans. Good morning, guys. I hope you've been doing really well. The mornings are growing colder by the day here in the foothills of the mountains. The trees are losing their leaves, and autumn is quickly progressing. It's nearly too cold to have my morning coffee outside, so I'm just soaking it all in as much as possible before life gets a little bit more indoorsy. And yeah, I just love the cold air in my lungs first thing in the morning. It's better than coffee, to be honest. It's been so nice to be back here in this treehouse camp. I stayed here last summer around the summer solstice, and it's been so nice to be back. It's one of my favorite places in all of the UK. If you're a subscriber, you will know that normally I live in my tiny van traveling full-time. But recently I've started just taking little breaks from it here and there and staying in other off-grid places. It's just nice not to have to worry about water and electricity so much for a couple of days. To be fair, I don't have much electricity here either because it's all solar powered. And there hasn't been much sun, but a nice break nonetheless. And of course, I will give you a little tour of this place in a minute. After I leave this place, I'm going to be traveling up to Scotland, and then I'll spend the winter in Italy, France, and Greece. And something I've started doing recently is just learn the basics in each how I learn new languages for traveling language. Just so I don't completely embarrass myself in the supermarket. Or if I have to see a mechanic, for example. And it's also just nice to be able to hold a basic conversation with locals. So right now I'm brushing up on my French and Italian and learning the basics in Greek. And for that, I've been using Rosetta Stone, who are my partner for today's video, and they've made learning on the go just so much easier. What I really like about Rosetta Stone is how intuitive and immersive it feels. You look at pictures, listen to native speakers, and start understanding words through context rather than memorizing them. So you begin thinking in the language from your very first lesson. Their true accent technology also gives instant feedback on my pronunciation, which helps me sound more authentic. And because their lessons are only about 10 minutes long, it's really easy to fit them into my day, either on my phone or laptop. I've also been really loving their phrasebook feature, which gives you quick access to useful everyday expressions, which is perfect when you just need to ask for directions, order food, or have a short chat without doing a full lesson. Right now, you can get 60% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime subscription, either for 25 languages or one language of your choice, via the link in the video description. So if you ever wanted to learn a new language to travel, connect with friends, or just for fun, this is a great app to support your journey. Thank you so much again to Rosetta Stone for partnering with me on this video. And now, let's give you a little tour of this treehouse. Treehouse Tour, welcome to the Treehouse. It's honestly one of the coziest places I ever stayed in, and my dream is to build something exactly like this if I get my hands on some land one day. There's a pretty big bed up here with some really nice views over the hills and trees, and you access it with this ladder. And during the day, you kind of move it out of the way to maximize the space in here. It's got a sofa here, and you can also sit on the windowsill and enjoy the views over the camp. I've been spending a lot of time reading there, and it's also got a wood burner to keep the place nice and warm. And I've definitely been needing that because it's been very, very cold here. And yeah, the whole place is built around this tree, which is so beautiful. I feel so inspired. I've been looking at lots of pictures on how to build it, how to build the foundations and stuff. Yeah, I really want to recreate something like this one day. This is the outside area, and to access the ground level, you have to cross the rope bridge and go down the stairs. This is the outdoor sitting area, which is definitely my favorite corner of the camp. I drink my morning coffee here every day. And in the warmer months, you also often get birds visiting you here, which is just so lovely. And of course, there's a big fireplace with more seating around it, which is a must-have when you're living in an outdoor camp. In this corner is the outdoor kitchen. It's really nice and sheltered, so even if it's cold and stormy, which happens a lot in Wales, you can still cook here without freezing to the bone. It runs on gas and has a fridge, cooker, and running water. And back here we have the hot tub, which is operated with a wood fire oven. I haven't actually used it in my time here yet, but I'm intending to do so later today. And these two outhouses are the hot shower, which runs on gas, and the separating compost toilet. And the two caravans in the camp are just extra accommodation if you're coming to stay here as a group. I actually slept in this red one last time I was here, and it was just so cozy. A day at the Treehouse camp lately, I noticed a shift within myself. Before I started living a simpler life, I always had to find a way to keep myself busy, working multiple jobs and filling every gap with volunteer work and even reading books related to work before bed and when I first woke up. I definitely used to define my worth through my productivity. And honestly, letting go of that mindset has been one of the hardest things I've ever done, especially when it's the narrative society repeats to us over and over. But the longer I spend away from civilization, the more I realize that life itself is a gift, and that our existence holds value simply because we get to experience this beautiful planet. And for me, there's so much meaning in the small human things like looking after our bodies, eating good food, and breathing in the fresh forest air. When you live a very outdoorsy lifestyle, things rarely go as planned, and especially during these darker months of the year, you have to learn to accept that there's a limit to how much you can do in a day. The daylight becomes both your guide and your boundary. And today, I got rained off while trying to heat up the hot tub, and had to accept that it was just not to be this time. Living this way has definitely taught me acceptance and adaptability, and that maybe our days don't have to be packed with lots of tasks and activities to be meaningful. A stormy day in the treehouse, Heidi and I just woke up, and it's a bitterly cold and stormy morning, and the treehouse is actually swaying a little bit from side to side, and Heidi is not sure what to make of it. So I think today is going to be a fairly indoorsy day. I'm about to make a fire because I'm freezing cold, and I think Heidi will appreciate it as well. I think winter is really coming here in the mountains, and I'm not sure I'm ready for it. But such is the way of things. Every season must come to an end, and I think slowly but surely. It's time to say goodbye to autumn. People often ask me how I deal with days like this one, when it's very cold and stormy and I'm forced to do so much outside anyway. And the truth is that while those aspects can be uncomfortable, they're completely offset by the beauty that comes with them. And living through the dark, rainy, muddy, cold days makes the warmth and the feeling of the sun on my face even sweeter. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of our adventures, traveling in my tiny van and staying in unique off-grid places, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Until next time, take good care. Don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.